Mr. Ray, stop filling up that glass of water.
Okay.
It's a joke.
No.
Yeah, I mean, quite literally it is.
It is?
Yeah, because, like, do you believe anything you're saying right now?
Never. I would never.
Like, and neither do I. But people think it's serious.
They're dumb.
They are. Okay. So, Mr. Ray, can I ask you a serious question? And I know you taking me seriously is really hard.
You can, but I'm not going to promise you any particular result from that.
Okay. You ever heard of the phantom time hypothesis?
Is that like an opera?
No, actually.
Oh. Don't look at me like I'm stupid.
No.
Don't look at me like I'm stupid.
No,
I'm so tired of you doing this to me.
Mister, I get paid by the hour, Mister. The Earth's flat. I can look at you however I want.
Both those things are true.
None of those things are true.
So, getting back on topic here.
Yeah.
The phantom time hypothesis. This idea that the Catholic Church, the Emperor, the Holy Roman Emperor, and the Byzantines, also known as the Eastern Romans, made up 300 years of history. From the year 614 to 911.
Okay. And when you say made up, you mean like...
I mean like the events that we think took place between these 300 years, and either just put in those years to fill out the history, or made up entirely.
Oh, I love that.
I bet you do.
I do. So hypothetically, if they made up that time, then our calendar would be
The 1700s.
It would be off by about 300 years.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
it's 2024 right now.
All right.
It'd be like 1711, something like that, I think.
Okay. Is this something that you buy into?
I think there's a lot of evidence for it.
All right.
What I'm saying is that out of everything we've talked about so far, if I was just going into this blind, which I kind of am because I don't know anything.
What?
Wesley, newsflash, it's a joke. The whole thing.
It's for the bit.
Yeah.
Anywho.
No, I can't. No, but like, seriously, this does have some, a lot of evidence built into it.
Okay.
Like things that you can't easily dismiss.
I doubt that.
Okay.
Before we get into it, I'm gonna tell you right now that I think this is ludicrous, and I'm not talking about a rapper named Ludacris.
You mean this is just
I
crazy.
mean that this is dog water that you're just spewing out of your mouth.
Let the record reflect that the co-host has been co-opted by the Catholic Church and the Holy Roman Emperor.
All right. Hold on. History lesson.
By the deep state?
History lesson for the audience. I'll allow you to use your, and I quote, weaponized autism, to inform the audience about something that I think that most of our audience is probably going to need a lesson on. Mr. Thomas, can you clarify the difference between a Roman emperor and a Holy Roman Emperor? Because to the unenlightened, they may sound like very similar things.
Okay, that's fair. I can do that. So the Roman emperors, as historians traditionally date them, are the men who ruled the Roman Empire between 27 BC, when Augustus founded it, to 1453, when Constantine the 11th died fighting the Turks.
I thought Julius Caesar founded the empire.
So the Romans themselves consider Julius Caesar to be like a Emperor Zero, in the sense that he kind of came up and he put Augustus in the position to become emperor. But modern day historians consider him to be kind of the last of the Republicans, the last of this group of people who subverted the republican system
Okay.
to become like the strongest man in Rome without necessarily it becoming this hereditary monarchy, right?
Okay.
Whereas the Holy Roman Emperors, first off, they were neither holy, they weren't Roman because they were Germans,
Okay.
and for most of their history they didn't constitute an empire. So really the Holy Roman Empire's official name is the Holy Roman Empire of the German nation.
Okay.
And this Holy Roman Empire, at different points in time, controlled northern Italy, which is kind of what gave them this idea that, hey, we're the successors of Rome. We're the Western Roman Empire back again.
All right.
And actually, this ties into it. The first Holy Roman Emperor was a guy by the name of Charlemagne. Modern-day historians know him as the father of Europe because he sets up what does it mean to be a king in the Middle Ages. He sets up what does it mean to be a ruler, a European.
Okay.
And so the Phantom Time hypothesis. Oh, I'm sorry, and the Holy Roman Emperors, they were elected.
Okay.
By other nobles, so there wasn't anything truly hereditary about it.
Yep.
They were elected, unlike the Romans who basically used the military to back them up.
If what I understand is true, Big Daddy Europe himself, Charlemagne, according to your Phantom Time conspiracy, he's just fake.
Yeah, he's made up. That according to the Phantom Time hypothesis, and really according to what I think could be true.
Is that fear? Why don't you double down on it? Quit talking about it. Be about it. Tell me it's true. Tell me it's true. That way we can have a debate. Tell me it's true. I've seen Area 51. Tell me it's true.
It's true.
Very good.
Okay, Charlemagne, a fake. I hate you. Charlemagne's fake.
Okay. All right. Why?
Charlemagne was both an intellectual. He was an agrarian. He taught his people how to farm. He taught his people to look up in the sky and look at the stars and discover stars. He was constantly on campaign. And the man only was, I don't even tell you how long he ruled. I don't know it off the top of my head. It was for 20 years and...
Let the record reflect that Mr. Thomas has to get out his phone for history fact. I don't know that I've ever seen this before.
Let the record reflect
and
that...
And God willing, I will never see it again.
Let the record reflect that Charlemagne was king of the Franks from 768 to 814.
Man, listen here, buddy. Frank's type of hot dog.
Well, Franks are the precursor to French, so like the Franks became the French. But anyway,
okay, okay,
and the Franks also became the Germans, but that's beside the point.
All right,
Charlemagne's king of the Franks from 768 to 814.
Okay.
So really, this is 50 years roughly.
Okay.
It's a long reign, but the man was on campaign all over Europe.
Okay.
I mean, he reunified what we would today consider the Western Roman Empire. He controlled France, he controlled Germany, he controlled most of Italy.
All right.
He controlled Spain. The man reconstituted the Western Roman Empire for his lifetime.
Yeah.
And then he died and his sons mucked it all up.
Okay.
But supposedly.
All right.
Because Charlemagne didn't exist.
Okay.
Because Charlemagne, there's just not enough time for Charlemagne to do all this. You can't be constantly on campaign and then turn around and be like, hey, by the way, people, this is how you raise cabbages. Or this is how you raise corn. Or whatever they were raising. Wheat. It's not possible.
Let the record reflect that if I was in Charlemagne's position, I could have done this in a week and a half.
Or you could have fought the Umayyad Caliphate in the south. Could have politicked with the Eastern Romans in southern Italy. You could have kicked the Lombards out of Italy. Could have supported the Pope. You could have fought off barbarians in Germany, all in a week and a half, while also discovering stars in a week and a half.
15 days.
Okay, so 2 weeks, a week and a day.
Yep.
2 weeks and a day.
And the one day is for me to take a smoke break after I'm done with everything.
Okay. So let me give you the history where the Phantom Time truth comes from.
The Phantom Time truth now. All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So,
History teacher.
45 BC. Julius Caesar. We're going back to the Romans. Because everything goes back to the Romans.
Shout out to those audience members that saw Putin's intro into the Tucker Carlson interview this week, because you're about to get round 2 right here.
No, because unlike that, I'm not going to waste 30 minutes talking about fake history. 45 BC, Julius.
Let the record reflect.
You dumb it.
Let the record reflect. We are legitimately debating if history is fake or not.
Let the record reflect that the co-host is a Russian spy.
No comment.
Russian plan. Anyway, 45 BC, Julius Caesar has to rebuild the Roman calendar because it's literally a year out of date. I mean, like half a year out of date.
Okay, so he releases beta version on that.
Yeah, called the Julian calendar. And the beta version of the calendar that we use today.
We talking 1.8? Version 1.8?
Yeah.
All right.
Lasts 1,500 years.
To today, right?
No. So we don't use the Julian calendar. We use a version of the Julian calendar. The Julian calendar had a specific problem. It was the Romans and this Egyptian guy that Julius Caesar brought in figured out how long the year lasted, but we're off by 11 minutes.
So that's 11 minutes per year.
Yeah.
So over all of recorded history, then that would cause a substantial difference in time, right?
Over 1,500 years, you lose 10 days. I mean, 13, 15 days.
Okay. That's enough time for me to do all that stuff that Charlemagne did.
13 days.
Oh.
I just saw it in my notes right here.
Okay, all right.
So
you took notes?
I did.
You're such a nerd.
At 13 days for it gets off track, right?
Yeah.
Pope Gregory, a pope like 1,500 years later.
Okay.
So according to the calendar.
And it's on the calendar.
Yeah, according to...
Like President's Day.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Looks at this and he sees that they're 13 days behind. And then builds in order... He wants to put Easter back in the spring equinox, right?
Okay.
So in order to get there, and seeing that, hey, something's wrong here with the Julian calendar, he redoes the calendar, what we call the Gregorian calendar, which is like think of it like the release version, like 1.0.
Okay, all right.
And this is the calendar we use today.
And it's buggy. Like 1.0 is buggy.
No, I mean like it works because every 4 years we have a leap year, blah blah blah.
Oh, okay.
Like a bunch of Christian Catholics in the 1500s figured it out.
All right. It's quite based of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike you, because you've never been based a day in your life.
I've never, ever been wrong in anything I've ever done.
That's my life.
I was born right.
No, you weren't.
And righteous and right.
No, flat earther.
Let the record reflect that this is not going to go his way here in about 10 minutes.
Let the record reflect that he has no idea what I've got.
Let the record reflect your mom.
I have a comeback. I'm just not going to use it.
Fair. Continue.
Oh, so he goes to fix the calendar, right? That's supposedly 13 days off.
Yeah.
And then he only adds 10 days back to it. So, like, as a peasant, you go to bed and sleep on October 4th, and you wake up on October 14th.
I wish that would happen to me.
Wouldn't that be so nice?
I wish that would happen to me.
I could just sleep for an uninterrupted 10 days.
Oh, that'd be great, man. That'd be great.
But anyway, that's what happened. So let me ask you this. Why? Why did he, if we account for like 100 years equals a day, which it kind of does according to the math, why didn't he add on those three extra days, Mr. Ray?
Too much for one life.
Okay, too much for one life?
Yeah, easy. Because he didn't want to.
Yeah, but like, do you have a better explanation than that?
Okay.
No, in fact, I'm not even done with my evidence.
Oh, okay. Please, keep on yapping, sir. Keep on. Come on.
We have castles built before 614.
Yappasaurus Rex.
Yeah, but I'm right. We have castles built before 614. We have castles built after 9/11. You know what we don't have in the archaeological record?
Yappasuchamimus.
Why don't you take me seriously? Because I know that's hard for you.
All right.
You know what we don't have in the archaeological record?
What do we not have in the
We don't
archaeological
have
record?
villages, towns, or castles built between the years 614 and 911. You know why?
Why?
Because the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, I'm not even going to use the regular numbers, Otto, needed legitimacy because he backstabbed his way into power. And he was like, it'd be really cool if I ruled during the year 1000. To be the Holy Roman Emperor 1,000 years after Christ.
Okay.
So, and in order, to kind of boost up his legitimacy, because his rise to power is kind of messed up.
Okay. And then, yeah.
He kills a bunch of people. Yeah.
Well, power grabbing back then especially, and still sometimes here in the modern world is kind of a messy business.
Yeah, but so he writes to the Pope, and he's like, hey, I really need some help here. And since I'm kind of your protector, be in your best interest to help me.
Let's fake 300 years worth of history
and,
together.
The Pope, for some reason, just agrees to it.
Yeah.
And then the Pope writes to the Caliph, the leader of Islam, basically.
Yeah, the Caliphate.
And the Caliphate agrees to it. And then the Caliphate writes to the Roman Emperor in Constantinople, Basil II at the time, and Basil II agrees to it.
Okay, all right.
So you have this grand conspiracy of the Church, of the two Roman emperors, of the Caliphate, all just to buy into this, so they can help the German Emperor, solidify himself. And in doing so, Otto wants to tie himself back to this man who founded his country. So he comes up with this idea of Charlemagne. This idea that Charles the Great, the son of Charles Martel, did all this stuff and founded the empire that he's leading, 300 years earlier.
Okay. First off, Yappadactyl.
All you do.
Are you finished?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I've used that. Wait, let me look at my notes here. Adopting the Gregorian calendar added 10 days, but loses 300 years of history. Julian calendar 614 to 911.
Yeah, Plodicus.
Shut up. I didn't say it.
You did not.
Okay, I think I'm done for now. I might decide to add something later. If Richard does, I'll just cut you off.
All right, fair enough. I would too.
I want the record to reflect that I'm allowing Mr. Ray more a time to rebut me, which he has never allowed me to do.
Oh, of course. That's because I'm inconsiderate and not a good person. All right, now, I haven't had a lot of time to look into this topic, and I'm certainly not the history knowledge that you are. Okay, I would never debate that. And historically, if there's anything I'm certain of, it's that you're better at history than me.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And so when I argue this, I don't want to argue it with history. I want to argue it with science because that seems to be my domain for now.
I think I know what you're going to say too.
So I'm going to start a little less related to my main point, but I'm going to point out that the phantom time hypothesis originally seems to be either the original idea of or popularized by a gentleman by the name of Heribert Illig.
Yeah, that would be him. He's some German guy.
Yeah. Who we're going to refer to as some German guy now from here on for the rest of this. So some German guy comes out with this idea, and writes a series of books and a series of documents. One of them is, and I quote, "The Invented Middle Ages." Where
he argues the phantom time hypothesis.
Yeah, he's basically arguing
as I've laid it out.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, not the hypothesis, the truth.
Yes, of course, the truth.
And I would like you to refer to it as that.
We'll see.
Okay.
German popular media calls it pseudo history or pseudo truth. However, it did receive several concessions from the scholarly world, so people did take it seriously. He's got enough of a backing on that. Some of the claims that must be agreed to in order to agree that phantom time hypothesis is true are the following. That there is a scarcity of archaeological evidence that can be reliably dated to the period that is supposedly made up. Now, you've stated that. There are no villages built during that time. There's no documents that appear to be from that time or anything of the such, right? Okay.
because it's the truth.
Okay. And in truth, I have no idea. Maybe not. I don't know. Now, second point. And to be clear, I'm reading straight off of Wikipedia because I'm incapable of forming my own arguments.
I don't like Wikipedia. Can we find a different source? The teacher and me screaming at you.
Hey, Wikipedia is the greatest single location of knowledge that humans have ever spawned, and it's time for you and the rest of the teaching world to get over that.
Low key, I kind of agree. I'm just trying to get you off of Wikipedia.
No, I understand. That's because you know this is about to go bad.
I hate you.
I hate
you're kind of a piece of crap.
Yeah, I've been called worse. The second concession that you need to make is the dating methods that are used to, date objects for time. Very popular one, radiometry, which is basically the idea that radioactive substances break down over time. So if you know how fast they break down and you know what you started with, you can basically reverse the clock based on how much radioactive material you have today.
I bet that
and you can go back in time to find when this originated.
You know what I bet that finds too?
What's that?
I bet that finds that we're living in the year 1700 and not in the year 2020.
I suspect that you're wrong, and I don't think you have any reason for claiming that other than that you are now stuck in the position where you have to defend this. Now, the second one, dendrochronology.
Find me a radio, whatever it is. Study. Show me. Show me one.
No.
Evidence.
Dendrochronology.
Burden of evidence on you.
The burden of evidence is always on me. Dendrochronology is the study of
Sounds fake.
Your hair sounds fake.
Your beard is like thin, and you should just shave it.
Dendrochronology is a study that you're using the rings of trees to date something. Okay. In order for this to work, both of those dating methods have to be inaccurate.
Yeah.
Now, we have been able to successfully use dating methods like this to get a pretty close approximation.
Yeah.
For anything in the past 1,000 to 2,000 years.
Okay.
And when I say a pretty close approximation, I mean closer than 300 years, which is roughly what we're talking about going missing here.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Okay. Now, the other claim, let's see, medieval historians rely too much on written sources. Let's say that's true, because I don't want to argue that with you. I don't feel like it. That the presence of Romanesque...
medieval scholars' defense, there's not much else to go on.
No, not really. That's one of the funny things. We were eating Chinese the other day, and we were talking about like King Arthur, and the entire idea of King Arthur is only like supported by like 2 or 3 documents in all of history.
Specifically from Wales.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah, and they're not always written by the most credible of sources.
And one guy was, you were telling me that King Arthur was the first time, the earliest mention we have of him is this guy who.
Yeah, he was like in prison.
Yeah,
and he was just
prison.
retelling this story from a prison cell.
Yeah,
and he was talking about how he fed the crows on the walls, though he were no Arthur, or something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been into that stuff. Okay, discrepancy of 13 days between the Gregorian and Julian calendar. I'll concede that for a moment. But no. It's not that I'm conceding. It's not that I'm conceding. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to ignore that for a moment.
Okay.
Here's the question that I want to ask you.
Okay.
Unlike
you, if the roles reversed, you would be obfuscating, and you would be trying to keep me from asking questions. I just want that to be understood. But I am an open book. I am willing to answer any of your questions. I can do it.
I'm a master of dumb arguments.
Yeah, you are. But
I am.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, please, physically just attack me under the table.
What?
Like kick me.
You're bringing up too many. You're bringing up too many good arguments, and I have to.
All right. Yeah, I hate me too. Okay, so
how to get you back on script?
Here's where I'm going to go off of this. Okay, because I don't have anything like this on my Wikipedia page here. But is there anything in history that we can accurately and mathematically date that might plug a hole in your theory?
You mean like poke a hole?
Yeah, poke a hole, not plug a hole. We're gonna take a little needle and just boop, little hole in there. Can you think of anything?
I mean, like, it's not a theory. First off, it's the truth.
Okay, well, here's some truth for you. On April 8th, one of these is going to happen in the state of Missouri.
Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I know exactly where we're going with
That's
this.
a total solar eclipse.
Can I be real with you?
Uh-huh.
It's a lie.
Are you suddenly arguing flat Earth theory in here right now?
No.
Oh.
Let me be clear.
Okay.
I'm not arguing flat Earth theory. What I'm saying is that the solar eclipse that you're about to evoke and that happened between 6/14 and 9/11, it's a lie. It didn't happen.
Okay. So
Bet you didn't expect that, did you?
No. I think I can beat that still. I think I can beat that.
I need sources. I need primary sources. You know what a primary source is, of course.
I do. I do. Let's see. Type it in on the old Google.
Let the record reflect he's got his school Chromebook right now open, just trying to defeat me. Because he knows he can't do it alone.
I don't like the information I'm getting.
My gosh. If you could just, like, for once...
Okay, all right. Nope, no. I got you. Okay.
You going to say something?
You and I have had a lot of debates on whether or not this source is credible. And I want the record to reflect that you have always supported this source, even when I have not. So per NASA, and be very careful. Very careful about questioning the credibility of NASA, because that will come back to bite you.
That's dirty, and you know it's dirty.
Be careful about questioning the credibility of NASA, because this will come back up in a later debate. An astronomical event was recorded on a clay tablet found in 1948 among the ruins of the ancient city of Ugarit, which is now in Syria, which was identified 20 years ago as the description of a total solar eclipse that occurred on the 3rd of May in 1375 BC.
Okay.
Now,
614 AD.
No, Mr. Hear me out. Solar eclipses are mathematically predictable.
Okay.
Because planets travel at relatively regular speeds.
Yeah.
Okay? Those speeds don't really change a whole lot.
Yeah.
And when they do, they're changing in predictable ways, i.e. Earth isn't always traveling at exactly the same speed because we're not in a perfect circle orbit around the sun. It's a little bit more elliptical than that. Okay? But these things are ultimately predictable.
Yeah.
We have the math.
Okay.
Okay? So when we go tracking solar eclipses like this, which ultimately are just statistical overlaps of orbit between, the sun, Earth, and the moon in just the right place, which again follow very fixed orbits.
Yeah, okay.
Because those orbits, those rates are very predictable, you can mathematically predict where they overlap. And you can mathematically determine that when they say that happened in 1375 BC, the math says that it probably happened in 1375 BC. Okay. And if if what you're saying was right,
say something
no, hold on. If what you're saying was right, then it should be, if I'm not mistaken, actually in 1075 BC or thereabouts, instead of in 1375 BC, if I'm correct, because we're 300 years ahead. Oh, wait, sorry. No. That would be actually 1675 BC. I apologize. I'm thinking about it in reverse.
No. Because
are you gonna dispute the credibility of NASA?
I'm disputing how you're saying that. Because anything that happens between, prehistory to 614 is fine.
No, but what I'm saying is that if you throw off the entire calendar afterward by 300 years,
we should be able to go back to 1600.
Something will not line up. And so this is valid not because it falls between the date range that is made up, but precisely because it predates the date range that is
And
made
you know
up.
what? This goes back to the Romans again.
Okay.
Because the Romans, during the Second Macedonian War, fought a battle at Cynocephaly.
Here you go.
No.
You're going to pull some dumb stuff out here that I can't argue with.
Hey, Philip II of Macedon.
If you know, you know.
Anyway, no. To be honest with you, I just can't support the bit anymore because this is dumb. And fan time hypothesis is ridiculous. And I can't do it anymore.
I am the first one in 3 episodes to get the opponent to concede.
It's ridiculous. Like, come on. Charlemagne not existing, it's ridiculous. That some German guy who came up with this should be disbarred from ever writing another book again because he's so wrong. We're not done.
Oh, we're not done?
No, because we're going to talk about this.
You continue. Continue.
Like this idea that we're going to convince the Caliph, who we've been at war with intermittently for 300 years, trying to take Jerusalem back. Yeah. And then we're going to convince the Roman Emperor, the guy whose city we're about to burn in 100 years.
Be like, hey, buddy, I know that we've been kind of fighting over our holy place of worship and killing a bunch of people, but can you, make up 300 years of history with me?
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's so my whole thing about the Battle of Cynocephaly, that I was going on about, was that the Romans, they stepped out to fight this battle.
Yes.
And a solar eclipse happened right in front of them.
That's
during the battle.
That's epic.
Yeah, and the Roman soldier, who was superstitious, was like, "Oh my gosh, the gods are gonna smite us," and the Roman generals knew because of math that hey, these are predictable.
This is just what it is.
And they knew it was coming up, so they told those soldiers that hey, right here, right now, at this time, there's gonna be a great darkness, and that's going to show that that our gods favor us.
I love that.
I mean,
propaganda machines.
I mean, yeah, and the Romans
going on since the Roman Empire and before.
The Roman elite were good at it.
So are you, by the way.
I know.